All right, so ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We have Hoffmann. This is the Georg Hoffmann Tier 10 German premium destroyer or special destroyer. I don't know what you call it, but it was released during Christmas season for steel only. Or you could be lucky and get it in a crate within a crate. You get the Santa Mega or whatever containers, and then you get the special golden container within that. Wyatt, thank you for the sub, man. And this is going to be Bosco's game. And they said that it's supposed to come back, but they don't know when. Like Wargaming has said, at some point it may come back. We'll have to see.
No, they said nothing about the Hoffman and Dorani coming back.
Really, I could have sworn they said, okay, I might be thinking of a different, they keep doing these where they do different ships and they say things will come back or won't come back, and then everybody...
These were the Steelville effect, Steelville
Yeah.
ships. They said
Yeah.
nothing about those.
And then like 6 months later, you're like, hey, you guys said it's coming back. Is it coming back or what? And then Wargaming's like, huh? So, anyway, if you missed out on the Hoffman, you might not be able to get it again. You'll get it again at some point, unless the ship is like so stupid OP that they will never sell it again. But anyway, the Hoffman is the same hull as the Felix Schultz, the Tier 9 of the gunboat or the Elbing line of German destroyers. So it's got that layout for the main battery. The big thing about the Hoffman is at Tier 10, she does have access to hydroacoustic search, which reaches out to 6-kilometer range. When Wargaming needs money, they'll come back. Exactly, Banjax. That's how you know, right? So the hydro comes in very handy. Obviously, it allows you to be a cat bully. Now, the German mainline destroyers do have hydroacoustic search, but the gunboat line, the Elbing line, does not have hydro search on the tech tree. So it does make the ship a little bit more comfortable. She does have a couple of other characteristics. She's got Elbing, is it Elbing Pen or Elbing Buffed AP? It's something like that, right, Grunty?
So she has basically the same power on the AP shells as far as the damage goes as Elbing and Schultz.
Okay.
But it does not have the improved AP pen angles.
Okay. I knew it was something with, but not everything. So perfect.
And to compensate for it a little bit, she does have better damage on her HE shells, for what it's worth.
Right, right. Although a ship like this, you're probably going to want to be slamming AP more, but it does have the 1/4 HE pen for 38 millimeters, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, you want to shoot AP the most of the time, but you often can't because you don't get the angle. So you have to switch the ammo a bit more in this ship, in my opinion.
Yep. Now, with the full concealment build, you'll see the 6.37 kilometer concealment means you are not able to stealth hydro. The nice thing, though, with the Hoffman is that if you are heading straight at something, that will outspot you, say 5.4 kilometer conceal, 5.6, whatever, and that person is heading straight towards you, the chances are you're going to detect them with your hydro before they can turn and run away. So, like, I personally have had great times chasing down things like Jaegers and Shimikazes that think that they're safe because they've got the hydro or the concealment advantage. And I just go straight W at them with hydro banging away and just laugh as they eventually die, praying to God that my teammates can shoot them, you know? It's led to some fun
You
games.
have to pray your teammates can shoot them too, because your gun DPM is not great. It takes you
That's
a
right.
while to kill destroyers. Like, you have
Right.
great alpha damage per salvo, but the actual DPM is not good.
That's
Better
right.
than Elbing, but not good.
Arrowhead, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you're having a great day. So let's get into the build. This is Bosco's build, who subbed recently and also cheered a bunch. Thanks again, dude, for that. That was really nice of you.
No problem.
Ooh, I need to turn you up. Hold on a sec. Say something if you don't mind, Bosco.
Say something again.
Okay. I got you at max. You're kind of quiet, but I think it's still hearable. In the other replay you sent, you actually did the funny on the enemy destroyer with your hydro, lit him up, and yeah. So the build here for Hoffman, you've got main armaments, engine room, aiming systems, propulsion, concealment, and reload for main battery. This is fine. The only consideration is if you really enjoy the ship, the hydro mod or the propulsion engine mod, one of these would be really good to pick up for Cole. But if you don't play the ship that often, there's no need to use that.
I'd probably go propulsion, to be honest.
I probably would too.
Although with
Okay.
the build he's using on the Captain, looking advantage, maybe the Hydro is better.
Well, let's take a look at the build for this captain. So this is Lutyens. Before we get to this, where do you have Lutyens on right now, Bosco?
He's on the Hoffman.
I know, but do you have him
there's-
on a tech tree ship?
No, I don't believe I do.
Okay,
Why
so you
not?
are missing out some of his potential. Any special captain like this needs to be on a tech tree ship, and I've got a video on my YouTube called Commander Efficiency or something like that. It's well worth a watch. You want to assign Lutyens to a premium to a standard tech tree ship, and the reason for that is because he helps with that tech tree ship, and then you can use them on other classes. So what I personally have done, for example, is I have Lutyens on Schlieffen or Prince Ruprecht, you know, the battle cruiser line. The nice thing about
I
that
guess
is,
I do have him on Schlieffen.
okay, then there you go. So you've got him on that. That's your main line, and then you can use him on cruisers and destroyers with a special build for each, and you can put him on carriers too, like the Graf Zeppelin. So excellent. I just want to make sure you know that, and anybody else who's watching understands that that's a possibility. So let's look at the build you've got then for your captain. You've got preventative maintenance, and this is a buffed skill, which is great for Lutyens and destroyers in general. Last stand, survivability, expert, concealment. Now this ship does not have a heal, so superintendent, you can probably get away with moving off that. What I say about putting him on the Graf, you can put him on the Graf because the Graf is a premium carrier, Jimbo. So you can put him on essentially any premium ship, and you can put him on premium battleships like Tirpitz. And it's not perfect if you've got IFHE on the battle cruiser line, Tech Tree or Schlieffen, but you can put him on Tirpitz and probably get most of what you want out of it, right? You could put him on premium carrier, premium destroyer, premium cruiser, and have some fun with it. So that's what I was saying with that. So anyways, superintendent, probably not necessary because you do not have a heal. You've gone with adrenaline rush, swift fish, fill the tube. So you went for all the torpedoes and also Mabas. So you went for guns and torps essentially. Thank you, Electric.
Yes.
There's the video.
Yeah, I mean these torps are a little bit better, also range-wise, than the other ones you find on German destroyers.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like taking the torp skills here.
Why?
Like look at the torps. Look at the stats of the torps. The reload is already quite decent.
72 seconds? Well, that's with
yeah, like
fill the
that's with, I
tubes.
think it's
80
80
without.
seconds base, like
Mhm.
which is already better. So I don't think you get enough out of it. One of the problems the Hoffman has, in my opinion, is like its range is rather limited, and it is a gunboat foremost. Like,
Mhm.
so I would really like to take the range skill on the captain here.
Okay. So you've got
Alternatively, if you really want to play this as a torpedo boat and make use of these 12-kilometer torps, I think you have to go full torpedo boat then and take it on the modules too.
so yeah, it includes main battery mod 3, and you're talking about then the torpedo tube in slot 3 even. Okay. So you can make it into a torpedo slinger.
So I wouldn't take the torp skills on the captain and save these 5 points here, and then pick up the range and the grease the gears, because the turret traverse is horrible.
Let's see. Turret traverse is 20 seconds. So your light cruiser levels. Range is 11 kilometer. It's a bit on the low side. So I can see what Grunty's saying about trying to go for range. Here's the thing. In my personal opinion, this ship is great with radio location. Great because
That's the other thing, yes.
if you're
you wanna
detected by
play-
something, you want to know where to point the ship and go at, so you can try to catch them with your hydro.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
want to play it close range, you could take the radio location instead of this. It's probably a better build. Like if you want to take it into ranked or so, then I can definitely see that.
Yep.
You
and
can
then you
make
can
an argument to sacrifice the DPM and take both the range and the radio location, but then you have to drop the MBAS.
correct. So you would either drop MBAS for the extra range, that's 13.3 kilometer, or you can keep the 11 kilometer if you find that that's close enough for you, and then you can pick up, say, grease the gears because it's a buffed skill, and now you save essentially 3 seconds on your 180 degree turn time, which comes in very handy. However, if you've got radio location, in theory, you should already know where to point your guns. So grease the gears, in my opinion, is less valuable when you've got radio location. And so what that means for you is you could, if you wanted to keep Mabas going here for your gun reload, you could switch it up and go with consumable specialist so that you can get your hydro and your smoke back sooner and your engine boost so that you can cycle through this quicker. Especially in ranked, that would come in very handy, right?
Right.
So things to think about. Well, watch how you play out the battle and everything. And, the torps are fun. The torps are great. If you hit something with torps, it's always fun. But I'm kind of with Grunty.
They are nice. But 80 or 72 seconds, I don't... Like, you're not a main torpedo destroyer.
Right.
And if you want to play it as such, then you have to go all the way out on the modules too and just sling them.
Yeah. So I think you're better suited for something that's more like a utility gun build like this, or you drop these two and pick up the extra range. Comes down to personal preference, how you play the ship, and what works for you.
I think the range gives you the option to play it outside of smoke and open water and shoot a little bit more too. Because it gives you distance, and the distance gives you safety. The ship is big. Like, if you have to shoot like at 11 kilometers in open waters, you're gonna get hit back.
Sure, but if you're gonna play that build, then you might as well drop radio location and go for Fearless Brawler then. Anyway, Bosco, what were you saying, sir?
Ship as a support type ship, as backup for another DD that's going to cap or protecting a flank, that kind of stuff. So that's why I chose the build that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're not the backup destroyer in this. You are the one that bullies the cap.
Well, I mean, if he's divisioning with anybody, then the utility is more important. Even funnier teamwork, right? Exactly. So, I know you're in a division in this game, I believe. We'll look at that in a little bit.
Yeah, but your division is the Harugumo. The Harugumo is your backup, not the other way around.
How do you know his division mates the Harugumo?
Because I see the player panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Armored Guppy.
No, I'm just wondering because, for me, my HUD is blocking that part of the panel, and I keep forgetting that the window bleeds over because I don't have it on full or whatever. So, anyways, I suppose you're the support for the Haru, and the Haru is the support for you. But in this situation, actually, I think the two of them can work really well together. As always, Grunty likes to move ahead of where we're going with the build. So we move on to flags. Now you've gone with ship HP, both fire chance and the flood chance flag, fire extinguishing, hydro action, smoke action, speed, consumables. Okay. I mean, that's fine. If you're going to shoot HE, then why wouldn't you want some extra fire chance? You don't have a heal.
Right.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the flag layout there. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into the battle then and see how things work out, okay? Here we go.
Okay.
Now, as Grundy pointed out, you do have a division mate, and that is also a destroyer. Generally, I don't like running destroyers, like two destroyers in a div together. And the reason for that is quite simple. I'm trying to move this thing. The reason for that is quite simple because of the fact that if you do that, you typically bunch up two destroyers, and if there's only one more or zero more destroyers, then the other side of the map is very barren. So, for example, right here, you two are together. There's an Eskimo, it's a test ship all the way on the other side, and there's no destroyer in the middle, which is where that third destroyer would have spawned if you were divisioned with a cruiser or a battleship, for example.
Okay.
That just means you need to win hard.
There you go.
I try.
And how you doing, SAT?
Yeah, this is kind of the problem, I think. Like, if you are in this matchmaking and you're the only destroyer division, you have to play this aggressive and kill the other destroyer as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, it can leave the flank, but electric, yeah. But, I mean, the point I'm getting at is if there were only two destroyers in this entire battle, you're it. on this flank, and that's it. And there's no destroyer on the other flank, period. So that's my problem with multiple multiple players in the same class of ship in a division.
I think 2 DDs is fine. The 3... It happens rarely that you're the only destroyers. It happens sometimes, as you can see, but it's not that common. Triple destroyer, yeah, stay away from it.
Now, you've continued to move straight, and I paused it here because you just got yourself spotted, and you let yourself get spotted. Why did you let yourself get spotted?
I got spotted by the planes, but I turn on the AA here and just eliminate them real quick before anybody gets a chance to fire on me.
You still told the enemy team where your destroyer division spawned.
Exactly. Exactly. And the problem with that is they know where you are, they know where your torpedoes could be, and they know where your division mate's going to be, because since they're your division, they're probably going to be together. So you give the information to the enemy team that you don't necessarily want them to know. Yeah, you get some plane shot down, but you give away a lot in the process.
Yeah, the enemy destroyer can now basically get C for free.
Why?
But because there's no destroyer, they can just go in and cap it.
Uh-huh.
Well, you'll see he can try.
Okay. I mean, so again, looking at the mini-map, plane shot down is XP, that is true, Puddin. So, you know, the destroyer that spawns in mid, if he's going to sea, you might feel more comfortable about going into the sea cap. There's carriers involved, so there's a lot of things that could spot him, right? But to me, that more importantly tells whoever's over here, okay, the tier 10 destroyer div is over on this side of the map. So if I'm over on this side of the map here, I can maybe be a little bit more aggressive now, because I know I'm only going to run into, I don't know, was an Eskimo, tier 8? Oh, it's Wolfman. Okay. So I know I'm only going to run into that or something like that. So that's why I don't like early on letting yourself get detected. Also, I would not use defensive anti-air fire for that. I'd keep it in my back pocket for, like, if the carrier decides to try to strike me for whatever reason. Hey, Cosmos. Jer, I didn't read out your sub thing, but you're 24 months, 20 for 2 years, dude. Thank you. Finding rare treasure in vast sea of streams. Thanks for being a loon and for sailing with our crew. Your support keeps our ship afloat and our battles epic. Speaking of epic battles, okay. The Z-52 did absolutely nothing with that information we were just telling you about, right? If that Z-52 saw you guys, then that 52 should automatically think to himself, there could be torpedoes in the water coming, especially you've got Guppy over here in the Gumo. If I'm a 52 and I see a destroyer like that, I'm immediately putting Hydro on. So you got lucky that he didn't, you know, think about that, right?
What a paid actor.
Yeah, he's a 52. Probably didn't have Hydro going. Probably turned it on as soon as he saw your torps, and then, you know, it's the typical COTS maneuver, right, Puddin?
But yeah, ideally you'd want the positions here switched. You want to be the one in the cap with your Hydro running, and the Harugu most likely behind backing you up.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't matter anymore because that C-52 is dead.
Mm-hmm.
It almost doesn't matter what you run at that point.
Yep.
Also...
But yeah, C-cap is free for the enemy team, as I said earlier.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
you had the chance to actually try and go in and Hydra the cap, but you didn't, or C.
The C-cap, yeah. So now the question becomes, what are you going to do now, right? You've got this cap done. The destroyer is dead, so you can either go for the Thunderer out on the 10 line, or you can go to the middle of the map, where you can try to defend in case they push through. Looks like you're going for the Thunderer?
Yeah, he's trying to push a flank, and it leaves our Yorktown exposed.
It does. Okay.
Why not let him just kill Yorktown?
I like the Yorktown.
Alright, fair enough.
I disapprove of your move.
I don't
SAT.
play it that much, but I do like Yorktown's on my team.
Well, see, SAT is part of the School of Anything Goes martial arts XP gaining, or XP grinding, so that's why he wants you to let the carrier die.
I see.
Maybe I can't move this stupid thing here. I'm just trying to move it so I can move my camera a little bit over, but oh well. Now, Thunder's turning away, so the only chance that those torps are going to hit is if the Thunder chooses to turn in from that island. I don't know that he's going to do that. Hey, Andy, how you doing?
He's at max range, so I figured, why not? I've got a decent torp reload, so...
Okay. I mean, you can afford to luck chuck it. That the issue is, if they don't hit and he sees the torps, then he knows there's a destroyer on him. Ironically, the marker decided to come and play with you and your div mate. I don't know what is going through their mind to make them want to do that. Like 2 tier 10 destroyers spotted? Yeah, let me go and chase after them in my tier 8 tech tree. Right.
You know, these people are also
Hate
should
actor.
be people that send in replays.
They really should be. They really should be. Some of my best replays have been very short ones where people just go in and yeet themselves to death right away.
Hey, if your replay saves another destroyer from dying in 2 minutes, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Those are the ones that need to learn this. Okay, so Thunder might have seen the torps, might not have, but either way, I would not have yeeted those torps out until you knew what the Thunderer was doing next, because there's so many things he could do. He could slow down, he could turn in, he could turn out. I don't know. I think you're better suited waiting just a little bit to see what he does. Look, he's stopping. And now moving.
It's kind of funny how much map power he's projecting. Like, look, your entire team ran away from the 7-8 line.
Yeah, that Thunderer
Yeah.
threatening everybody. Right here. They're all like, running away!
As a side note, you and Haraguma can literally just be farming him right now.
Yeah, you could if you're together. Change your smokes.
Mm-hmm.
One spotting, one shooting.
Yep,
Well-
you killed their...
It's just DCP too, like.
And Thunder has been shooting, so
So-
you could actually smoke up and shoot him for free there.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
So remember you killed the destroyer on D. So that means they probably don't have another one, especially since the other is over on the A, B side, and the last one's in C. So both of you could have just ran up and killed the Thunderer. Nothing you can do about it. And if one of the cruisers or someone wants to take D, they're not a destroyer. They easily just get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you had the range, you could also just open water fire this now.
Well, I figured with him behind the island, my teammate's not going to be able to see him. So if I smoke up and start shooting him, I'm not going to see him.
You see
You
him
will
if
see-
he keeps shooting.
If he shoots, there's a smoke fire penalty, so you detect him. Right there, he shot.
Boost activiert.
So you would
Yeah.
you would be detecting him because he's shot. And then if he shoots at you, you detect him too. So that's what I mean about smoking and farming. But by now his DCP is up again, so you don't get anything out of trying to set him on fire again. Now you're
Also, if you had
hoping
your,
from...
if your Haraguma was there, he could also be farming damage.
Yeah.
I mean, he's clearly not looking at you. Like, I would just shoot. If he turns the guns and starts shooting you, okay, you might take a salvo. You can always go dark.
Right now is
He's
where
not
you
gonna
want to be
one-shot
shooting.
you.
Right now is where you want to be shooting, Bosco, because if you start shooting, most battleship players are going to start turning to try to get their guns to bear on you. And because he just shot to his left, in order to get his guns on you, he's going to have to turn to his right, to get his guns
Right.
targeted. If he does that, better chance that he's going to take some of these torpedoes that you just launched at him. This is what we often call baiting with destroyers. You launch torpedoes at something, and then you fire your guns on purpose so the battleship player reacts by turning into more of your torpedoes. So that could be very handy to do right there. You get him to shoot at you once, and you smoke, and you just keep pummeling him because he's fired at you, and you would take some damage, but you aren't going to die.
Okay.
It's an AR boost.
Where you're going now is you're going to keep yourself on this Thunderer's bow, because the Thunderer is not going to turn away. He's going to be forced to turn in to keep chasing after all this damage he wants to farm, right? So you going this way keeps you pointed at his bow with your torpedoes. That decreases your opportunity of actually getting hits. So I would actually be going to the corner of the map, like up here. You could paint yourself into that corner, but as the Thunderer turns, you open up a broadside to him.
I think he takes himself. Like, I already dislike this whole play because, like,
Oh, I do
he's
too.
basically taking himself out of the battle.
Right, but the thing is, it's going to take him a lot longer to kill a Thunderer by hitting him nose on with torpedoes
I
than
know.
sideways.
That's why he should be shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched the replay a few times. I agree. I should have been shooting, but I think it's about now I start realizing that our whole eastern flank is exposed, and all of our ships are basically jumbled all around one area, which is A.
You can take
So
the
I-
Thunderer for that.
And D's starting to get capped, so I start heading for D.
Okay, that's interesting though.
As a
That's
s-
who is that
Right?
in the cap? Is that the Shimmer coming over?
That's Shimakaze. Shimakaze was
Shima.
spotted in C. So Thunderer just took 2 floods. You know he DCP'd that. You know he DCP'd that. This is the moment where you start shooting at him, and while you're shooting at him, you slow down to half throttle. And the reason for the half throttle is because as soon as he shoots at you, you go to 1/4 speed and you smoke. Because then he can't see you and you can keep seeing him, and you just get him on at least 2 fires or something and just laugh. It might not be enough to kill him, but it'll hurt him.
Okay.
You
As
could
a side
also all the
note-
time. I completely forgot it. This is a CV game.
Mhm.
The CV could have easily
Yes.
come over here and helped him with that.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's your CV. He's never going to do that.
Exactly. I would not expect any sort of team play from a carrier unless they're on your div and in a voice comm with you, and then you know if it's happening or not.
I mean, sure, but if you don't ask him, he's guaranteed to not do it.
Sure.
He's on 30% HP. He probably has other things to be worried about.
He's getting
And-
sniped by the enemy CV the whole game.
And why
Yeah.
would you want to
No,
go
I
and target a tier 10 battleship that's got defensive anti-air with your tier 8 carrier?
So as a side note,
Because-
if you had your cargo mode,
Machine
like if
boost
you had cargo mode,
deactiviert.
oh, go on.
It's the best target he has, the CV, considering the matchup. What's left?
It's the
Except for
Harlem.
the Shimmer. No, it's not the Harlem.
No, it's the Harlem that capped D. The Shima
No,
is
that's
going
what
back
you
to
meant.
B.
It is.
He's also a good target.
Smoking at this range to shoot is bad. I disagree with you, Cthulhu. If he's able to get a couple sticky fires on the Thunderer, he's got to get this Thunderer out.
That's the plan.
I'm amazed that this Thunderer didn't care. Like, I don't know. I guess he just said, oh, well, it's only Hoffman, so whatever. But, geez.
He didn't know where Hoffman was, and fortunately, he just died.
The
Mhm.
harem thinks he knows where I'm at, and
Yeah.
he ended up firing his guns in the location he thought I was.
The thing is, he should have just been turned out completely or bow in completely. There's no in between.
The Thunder?
Yeah. He basically decided, hey, let's go broadside, hope for the best, and he just dies. There's no
Frankly-
reason for him to be broadside.
I don't understand how he turned the entire map, projected his power, as you said, to SAT, and then decided to just leave.
So
You know what I mean? That just doesn't make sense.
you can probably like, if that Harlem is smart, his Hydra is running right now. He saw the torpedoes hitting the Thunderer. He probably turned on his Hydra right after.
Sure.
Or so these torpedoes you fire right now probably have no chance. Never mind.
Reporting the target position.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you just need to pay them.
Paid actors, the lot of them. All right, engine boost. Get to the cap.
Yeah, and
The
my
thing is,
carrier
the only
screaming at me to get to the cap.
the only
whatever.
reason you're even in the game is because you just paid 3 people.
Truth. Truth. You got the 52, got the Thunderer, and I mean
Thunder was
the Harlem is
probably not
whatever.
paid, to be honest. But the
He
Harlem
was
and the Merker chasing after him in the set 52, yeah.
the Harlem paid. Thunder less paid because he did project that. Like he literally took control of his side of the map. And even though he died for free and shouldn't have died, he still did a reasonable job.
Thunderer's mistake was going down the 9 line, and by the time he went through it, his whole team on this side was dead, so he was alone.
Yeah, but he also tied up Hoffman for quite a while.
He did.
And the thing is, if you didn't land torps and he didn't get paid at the last second, then you would have still been stuck out there. You would have probably not torped the Harlem, and your team could be in a different position.
Das gegnerische Team steht kurz vor dem Sieg.
And also, remember, this is a replay, and in those replays, the chances of getting potatoes like that increases by like 50%.
Oh,
100%
absolutely.
or something.
That's right. How you doing, User Joe, over on YouTube? I don't
Are we
get
actually
I don't
behind
get
on points?
I think
probably.
it's probably a replay bug. Anyways, the reason why you see in a lot of replay highlights, you do see a lot of
No,
people just
It's not.
eat
It
potatoes.
is behind.
Yeah, the points are
Yes.
accurate. The points are accurate. Red team is winning. I mean,
Yeah,
they
the
have
right-
3 caps.
The right side is double ticking right now.
Oh, so this time the points do matter.
Yep.
Yes.
Now here's where the propulsion module would come in handy, right? Because then you have it a little bit longer for when you need it. Get to the other part, you know, you're probably going to try to get to C next. Or you can go assert
Yeah.
your dominance against the Shokaku.
Well, I thought
You can
about
just
that.
let Wolf
but
take the cap whenever, and then you go kill the CV.
5 minutes, I figured I got to stop the bleeding, so I'm trying to get the caps.
Yeah, no, that's a smart play.
Yeah, the correct move is basically just take the caps.
Yeah.
The fun move is to ignore the caps and go for the CV.
The scary thing
Right,
is,
that's sentence though, because like the Eskimo is already dying by going for the CV.
well, he's being chased by the Marsili, so, I mean, what do you expect Wolfman to do? Just,
he got himself trapped between the Marseille and the CV.
well, frankly, when Wolfman was coming down here, the Marseille was over here. Who would have thought the Marsili would go all that way? The big thing is that the Shikishima just got killed by the Montana. That's the big
and now
thing.
the Montana's going after the carrier.
Yeah, well, he can make it easier for the carrier to kill him, that's all.
Well, Montana's too far ahead. He has to kill the CV. And given that it's a tier 8 CV versus a tier 10 battleship, Montana in this case, it is possible for Montana to get a kill.
Assuming the
You actually need
Yorktown
to
gets
get in
spotted.
range if you
That's
can.
all.
You need to get in range and shoot.
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, is to get in range of the Montana, at least light him on fire or something. But as you can see, his health is going down. I'm trying to get there before he eliminates my CV.
Well, fortunately, the enemy CV is not spotting him. Otherwise, he would be in really. Otherwise, it would have been game over.
Yep. Speaking of which, you forgot your anti-air was on.
Yeah.
So you actually have really good range with your anti-air, 6.9 kilometer. And what that means is, if you forget your anti-air on, like that, you just basically
no.
said, I'm right here!
Yeah.
Why did you smoke?
What?
So he wouldn't come back and see me. I know he was going to focus me.
Yeah, but because
The
you
only
don't
one
see...
shooting you.
Yeah,
You don't
now
see
he's
his
gonna blind
planes.
drop your smoke and you don't see where he's dropping.
Put your hydro on now. because at least you'll catch the torpedoes earlier. Dunpeel, hello over on YouTube.
Yeah, game's over in 2 minutes anyway. Your hydro is not gonna last so long. Might as well use it.
Flugabwehrmannschaften in
You
normaler
also,
Alarmbereitschaft.
if you're gonna fight the Marseille, you're gonna want that smoke.
And Marseille turned around. Actually, so that's okay.
Actually, it's not okay.
Why?
Like, if Marseille had a shot on him, then I would understand popping smoke for safety. But without that smoke now, if the CV spots him and Marseille has a shot, then he has to literally dodge.
Yeah, well, he's got plenty of health. He can dodge for a while. That doesn't matter, in my opinion. I think it's more important that the Marseille right now isn't right in front of him, which is where he was heading
the
before. He
Hoffman's-
turned south.
I like the Hoffman being tanky.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being... The tankiness didn't matter too much here because no one shot at you. If the Marseille had more HP and...
You need to speed boost. Like,
I would have just kept on shooting HE, but okay.
Yeah, I switched
yeah,
over
he's
to-
already turning.
Yep.
HE is much better.
AP is fine.
That-
Engine boost, though, so that you can dodge shells easier.
If you were in Melding, the
Nice.
AP would be the choice, but you're not.
Gegnerischer Kreuzer versenkt.
Doesn't matter, he
Okay.
still got the kill.
Maschinenboost aktiviert.
True.
Alright, turn your anti-air on now. You might as well. He knows you're here, and just shoot all of his planes down and get the XPs.
Yeah, you can probably imagine he doesn't have too many planes left anyway.
Mm-hmm. Also, you want him to waste his attack before you get into the cap.
Flugabwehrmannschaften in voller Alarmbereitschaft.
I don't think you actually win this.
I would not have
No,
used the
I
defensive fire. I would not use the defensive fire there. You either use it at the start to try to shoot down as many planes as possible, or you forget about it. They had already latched the fighters from Yorktown, so you got like one plane kill out of that instead of like all of them.
I just needed 15 more seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know when
And-
you lost your 15 seconds?
When you smoked up in C cap.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When your AA... Actually, it was not the smoke. It was the AA being on and being spotted and hitting the drop and getting reset.
So, and this is a common thing. We always talk to people about this. You have to make sure that your anti-air is off if you're playing in a destroyer in a carrier game, because those planes, you just get spotted momentarily, and that makes a huge difference. Now, for you, the other part of the problem is that you weren't able to dodge the torpedoes. If instead of saying crap and smoking, you focused on just dodging the torpedoes, I think you might have still been able to get the Capman out of there without having to worry about the Marseille shooting at you, based off where you were. Who knows?
Right.
It's also how much time you lost on the with that Thunderer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like the smoke and stop part is what got you. The smoke and stop and the resets. That's what really killed you. And then at the end there, the unwillingness to use your engine boost early enough to get into the cap, that hurt you too, quite frankly. We have a giveaway going, by the way. Say something over on the
Yeah.
Twitch chats. Make sure you're a follower. And if you're on YouTube, Kick, or Rumble, get on over here. Do the follow and be active in chat. So you come in first place.
I
Yeah.
don't know if this game if this is like typical gameplay for you, but I think like you had 20 gun hits with your Hoffman.
Mhm.
The way you played it, if you want to continue playing like that, you need to spec it full torpedo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
you're
you're
playing
not
this like a
using your
torpedo
guns.
destroyer. You're playing this like a torpedo destroyer that just happens to have hydro and some other things.
You can
Yeah,
play
if
it
I
that
can
way.
get-
Personally, I think you shouldn't. But if you want to play it that way, then go all out on the torpedoes.
If I get something within my range, I'll get shooting at it most of the time. But the Thunderer, I mean, he loads HE. I figured one good salvo and I lose 2/3 of my health with that.
Sure.
You
I
can
mean,
dodge.
yes, but like you had 2/3 of your hit points left in the end, and it did you no good.
The other thing is he only gets one shot on you, right? Because you stop and you smoke. So he shoots at you. If all of them hit, ouch. But if they don't all hit, you just keep the farm going. And honestly, killing that Thunderer sooner might have been a big difference too.
Yeah.
It's
Was
hard to
so
tell
much
because
time wasted down there.
He
So
just
much
sat
time.
there and took the torps anyways and died, which is hilarious. But I mean, wow, 120,000 damage on this dude. You know, with how many torps?
So
12.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, you and your div basically didn't you didn't take advantage of each other.
No.
Like if both of you went to kill the Thunder, he would have died much faster, guaranteed. And then you would have been able to kill Harlem, guaranteed, take back the cap, and then if they're from there, just win the game. The
Yep.
fact that
Didn't
both you
see it.
split off, yeah, both
So-
of you. Well, Harlem came back to take the cap later. But
Yeah, how did the
technically,
Haraguma even die?
in
Hargoma was
middle
killed by
of
the
speed.
Thunderer. It was the Thunderer that killed him
What?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
because he got himself spotted and the Thunderer did his shooting. So another situation, had you opened up, had you got him to shoot at you instead, your teammate would have been alive. Your div mate would have been alive. And that could have also had a big impact in this game. So I do agree that the lack of that division synergy where you guys basically said, all right, you spawn in together in the same division, and then you're like, I don't know you, and you don't know me. You know, and then you kind of work together at the start, and then you're like, bye. You know, I think if you guys were working together, you two could have done much more.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, User Joe, I believe he was on his last engine boost. It was active at the end of the battle, and I think he still had two, maybe, I think 2 smokes left because he used 1 in the replay. But don't be afraid to use your guns in this boat. Don't be afraid to take some damage in this boat, especially if it takes damage away from other people. If you're ready for it, and remember I had said you slow down to half speed, then open up your guns, and then slow down to smoke. If you do that properly, the enemy only gets 1 shot at you. And if you do it right, you disappear before they even get the shot on you, and then they get frustrated and waste a shot, and then they keep themselves lit. So, you know,
Okay.
don't be afraid to try it. And if it's the range that's the problem that's making you worried, then I agree with Grunty's idea of going for the range. But you're basically taking a ship that's a hybrid destroyer that's good at everything and not great at everything because it's a hybrid. It's a, you know, jack of all trades. And you're saying, I'm going to completely ignore this part of it in favor of just one aspect. One thing I want to mention too, and I took a look, you don't have any spotting ribbons. You're running loot
No.
yams. So if you're worried about taking damage in the destroyer, remember, you spot 3 targets and you get a heal. So
Right.
you can afford to take some damage because you can heal some of it back, assuming you spot stuff.
Right. Okay. Well, I appreciate all the feedback.
Yeah, let's get the replay
I'll
render
work
going.
on it. I don't have a whole lot of battles in this boat yet, but
Why didn't he get any spotting? Oh, did the Haragumo get the spotting on the set?
Yeah, because
I
the
think our
Haru was
carrier
closer.
got a whole bunch.
The carrier probably did, yeah. Yeah, it's difficult to try for spotting ribbons in a carrier game.
It's tough. Like I don't get 3 on average on my German destroyers. Like,
Mhm.
and if you do get it, it's usually right at the start too,
Mhm.
where the heal is worthless because you're still full HP.
Yeah.
You as nice as the heal is for Lutyens on a destroyer, you cannot rely on it.
You want like 1 or 2
Unfortunately.
ribbons early on and then
Yeah,
try to
but
get the last when you
1
need
or
it.
2, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I wish they would change this talent so it gets like basically makes a consumable that stores the heal that you can use it when you need it.
Yeah. Well,
That would be so nice.
it'd be nice, but whatever. It is what it is. It's still a good game. But frankly, you know, when I'm watching this game, even now I'm watching it on the render right now, like so much of this was just really good, lucky torpedo hits, right? The ZV2 at the
Yeah.
beginning. And then the fact that the Thunderer just kept on doing what got him hit the most from your torpedoes, which is the part that it just blows my mind, right? Because most of the time, if somebody looks and they're like, oh, this is a threat, I know, I need to bow in the direction that these torpedoes are coming from. Your Thunderer guy is like, nah, I'm just going to go broadside to it. I don't care.
It's probably just because like, oh, this Hoffman is not shooting its guns, he's no threat. It
It's a
might have
possibility.
fooled him with the way you play it.
Yep. Yep.
And he
What are we going to
probably
title this
didn't
replay,
wanna-
chat? And Jimbo, congratulations on winning the code. We got more of those we're going to give away throughout the day, guys. I almost, something as simple as like use the guns would be a good, title, I suppose.
Oh yeah, the Haragumo got in a bad crossfire there. I see.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about Torp
Yeah, but
Happy?
that took like how long did that take to take down this thunder here? That was like 4 minutes almost, right?
Took you way
Yeah.
too long because you were afraid to use your guns.
Yeah, and you didn't like if you were together with the other destroyer there,
Mm-hmm.
like it. Yeah, you killed
Ooh.
him, but he took you out of the game for so long.
I like
And
the
the
press one
Eskimo
for
trying
guns
to
now.
chase after the CV, not getting anything. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, if Wolfman in the Eskimo position better too, that's true. But he probably thought, okay, well, this is whatever. I mean, he's in a test ship, so we're not gonna comment on his
Yeah.
ability to do something. But
But if you had the range, you could have shot the Montana right here. Kill it a bit quicker, get the cap a bit quicker. That's some points then you can gain. And then right here, like these torpedoes, you were 10 seconds away from getting the cap.
Yep.
Yep.
That cost you like 30 seconds here getting hit by them.
Yep. That's what did it.
You should have been able to dodge that one.
If the A was off, he can't even drop them that accurately because he sees you too late.
Yep. Yep. But with your anti-air on, it gave him all the time he needed to set up for the drop. Cool. All right. Well, Bosco, thanks for all the support for sending this replay in. This was actually a good one, and I like the fact that it's a loss, so that helps our SAS replay theater win rate of 90% %.
Oh, glad I could help.
Awesome. All right. Cool. Well, let's